and welcome, I'm your CodeMonkey. The biggest marketing mistake developers make actually happens before they write a single line of code. A lot of developers think, okay, first I'll make the game and then I'll start marketing the game. And that might have worked 10, 20 years ago, but nowadays, given how much competition there is, given how many games are coming out all the time, and how those games are actually of insanely high quality, because that really cannot do that anymore. Nowadays, you need to start validating your game idea way before you actually go into production. Nowadays, if you want to find success, then the whole thing starts with idea selection. There is a massive amount of difference between picking an idea that nobody really wants and an idea that people are already dying for. It really makes marketing either insanely easy or insanely difficult. If you've got a bad hook, you will have to do an insane amount of marketing in order to try to get anyone to pay attention to you. If you try to pick something like a 2D puzzle platformer, that is a very crowded, very difficult genre on Steam. If you try to go for that, you're really going to be pushing a boulder uphill. Trying to convince even just a handful of people just to give you a try, it is going to be insanely difficult. Just a while ago, there was actually an excellent example of this. This game, Bionic Bay, one of the most gorgeous games that I've seen in terms of pixel art. This is absolutely awesome, and actually even has some very interesting mechanics. But because it's in a very weak genre, because that didn't actually find the level of success that it would have found if it was just in a more hot genre. So if you come up with a game idea on a genre that people don't really desperately want, if so, it is going to be very hard to do marketing. Whereas if you choose some kind of game idea that people are already wanting to play, which nowadays are things like incremental games, maybe clicker games, job simulator games, those are always hot. If you choose those kinds of games, marketing is going to be infinitely easier. On this one, you already know Steam has a massive audience that enjoys these kinds of games. You really just have to showcase, okay, my game is just like these that you already enjoy, with this nice little twist. Basically, the best way to come up with a marketable idea is just like this. It's very simple, although of course it's hard to do in practice, but you just gotta pick something where you've got a proven genre, so don't try to reinvent the wheel, look at what's already selling and try to choose that. But then of course, if you make just a clone, then people might as well just play the original clone as opposed to your game, so that is why you need to have some kind of unique twist. And then super important nowadays, because attention spans are basically as short as they've ever been, the game has to be readable in basically just 3 seconds. You need to basically sell the vision of your game in literally just one click. As soon as people see your some kind of video, some kind of GIF on Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is, they need to be able to be instantly hooked basically in just 3 seconds. That might sound a bit bad, but honestly, that is how things work nowadays. Again, going back to how many awesome games exist. Players are already filled with games that are insanely awesome that they want to play. So your own indie game basically needs to move past all of this noise. Now, like I said, you should do a 5-second test, and that is basically the best way to do idea selection nowadays. You literally just need 5 seconds, and the whole point behind this is just answering the question, does anyone care about this game idea? Which means the game does not have to be fully made. You can basically just fake UI progressions, fake animations, fake logic, that kind of thing. You're really just trying to sell the vision of what the game would be like. And if you do that and you post on various social medias, if you post, let's say 20 different ideas, you'll be able to see how one of them definitely gets quite a lot more views than all the others. And that alone, that is a very strong signal. Okay, we got something right here that is at least attracting players. So something in this specific idea is quite a bit more appealing as opposed to all the other ones. One recent example that got me thinking about this topic was the game Paralives that finally just came out. This one has been in development for about 7 years, I think. It just came out and it is massively successful, but the success basically did not come from randomness. There were hints that it was going to be this successful right when the developer first posted about it 7 years ago. Here's the very first post about this game. I believe the developer was just making a basic prototype just a few weeks as soon as they posted about this. And when they did, this GIF basically went viral. We can't really see the views. I don't think they were tracking views back in 2019, but we can see it has 3.7k likes. And usual likes interaction, they are usually like 1%, 2%. So we can roughly guesstimate this one got at least like 200, 300,000 views. Which again goes back to the visual test where you're trying to see is anyone interacting with this. And chances are most game ideas that you post, they are going to get 10, maybe 100 views depending on the size of your account. But some of those will get something like 10k views. And that is exactly how you make this filter. That is exactly how you figure out which ideas are winners versus not. This game very clearly found an audience right away as soon as it got the first post. Getting 200k views, that is an insane amount, which then eventually led to an insane amount of success. Now I should point out on this specific example, I would say this is not quite the perfect test that I'm talking about here, just because this GIF over here, it looks very satisfying, but doesn't really tell anything about the game. Looking at it, you would assume it's some kind of decorating game as opposed to being something where you simulate a bunch of lives. But still, the core idea of what I'm saying is basically you test out game ideas, you try to see which ones get a ton of views, and then you actually choose to dive deep on that one specific idea. Again, you really don't want to be pushing some kind of heavy cube uphill. You really much rather really just push your sphere downhill. So for the most part, this is the workflow. You start off by generating a ton of game ideas. You start building some kind of visual for those ideas, maybe making some small prototypes, and you start posting consistently. Then out of those 20-50 ideas, you measure those reactions, you try to see which ones really go way above and beyond, and then you basically just double down on the winner. Always remember how making games is actually a very complex thing. At least if you are a very experienced developer, it's going to take you at least something like 3 months to make a proper game. So if you're going to spend 3 months to maybe multiple years working on some kind of game idea, it does make sense that you are working on an idea that does have proven potential right from the beginning, as opposed to just randomly starting to work on the first thing that comes to your mind and working on that without any actual validation that a ton of people wanted. Although at the same time, remember how this validation, this is really just a compass, it is not a guarantee. It is possible for you to put out some kind of game idea, get hundreds of thousands of views, but then you put out the game, turns out people didn't actually want that kind of game. Maybe the idea was somehow misleading compared to what the final game would be. So this is not a guarantee, but it is a very nice guideline. Nothing in terms of indie game development is ever going to be a guarantee, and this is a very, very tough industry, so it does pay to actually pay attention to the things that basically increase your odds of finding success. For the most part, you should build what is already wanted, so instead of spending years trying to market a game idea that people don't really want, first find what people do want and then work on that idea. This, in turn, will make your marketing much, much easier, which in turn will greatly increase your odds of finding success, and I do hope that you do find massive success. Also, if you want to learn all about Steam game marketing, you can check out the videos that I did with Steam expert Chris Zukowski. He shares a lot of advice that have helped many devs reach tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of wishlists. And if you want all that knowledge gathered in just one place, then check out his courses. He is currently running a nice discount as part of his summer sale, so if you want to learn how to get more wishlists and sell more copies, then check out the link in the description. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.